Hello and welcome. My name is Melissa, and today I will be showing you a very basic but effective protocol for back pain. I do these moves almost every day as preventative, but also the moment I feel a twinge in my neck or my low back, these are what I turn to. Alternatively, these are really great for emotionally grounding and centering yourself. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing how this helps. Let's get started. So, the first move I'll be showing you is something called hip circles, right? Doesn't sound too fancy, but with a little bit of fine tuning, this can be one of your most effective tools in combating back pain. So the first thing I want you to do is just find a really comfortable stance. I'm starting slightly wider than hip width. If your low back is more unstable, you could even narrow it up a little bit, or if you are looking for a deeper stretch and are in fairly good shape, feel free to widen your legs. The most important thing is that you feel stable and grounded. I don't want there to be I don't want you to feel unstable while you're moving. And so maybe even starting a little bit more narrow to begin with is awesome. All right, so start out with your feet and toes pointing forward. Now, for your hands. Traditionally, this pose is taught with your hands at your hips. However, my wrists sometimes bother me, and so I've modified it to have my hands like this. What's important though is that your shoulders and your hips are right on top of each other. And so let's go ahead and just lift your shoulders up to your ears and roll them back. And so what we're wanting is your shoulder blades to go more onto your back. We're coming into alignment with our chest and our upper back. Okay. The third piece to this move is your breath. Now we're going to start out by doing one breath per circle, and then as we go on, I will show you some different modifications that you can do. Okay, so we're standing. My hips are over my heels. I'm going to bend my knees slightly, lift my shoulders, roll them onto my back. Arms are engaged, right? I'm trying to keep my shoulders in alignment. So just to give you a better visual, I'm going to turn to the side and show you alignment versus being out of alignment. So this is more out of alignment, right? Like my shoulders are coming forward. My hips are there's a little bit of a curve in my low back. And so I'm going to engage my belly slightly, and then I'm lifting up my shoulders and rolling them back. So you want to be a little bit more like this. Not like this, but like this. Okay. So for the breath, tilt your hip to one side, and we're going to trace a half circle with our pelvic bones. So inhaling to the other side. Now for the back half of the circle, we're going to exhale. So inhaling and exhaling. Now this is one of those things where if your alignment isn't perfect, it's fine. Similar to meditation, what we're wanting is awareness and then moving back into alignment as we become aware of being out of alignment. It's not going to be perfect, what in life is, but that awareness will help to bring you the results. All right, and so basically, we're going to be repeating this motion evenly in each direction. And so what's going on? Why is this so helpful? I'm going to do a few hip circles while I talk to you about what's actually going on. So our hips have lots of different muscles. We have larger muscle groups like our glutes, but then inside of our hips, there are all sorts of smaller, more complicated little connections. And so when those get tight, they can just wreak havoc on our spine. And so in addition to opening up the hips, we're also doing a really gentle stretch of the whole leg compartment. If we imagine that our body's connective and structural systems interact like a spider web, it's a little easier to perhaps imagine how stretching the lower part of our body can have a greater effect on our spine. Okay, so I've gone in this way. I'll just show you the other side. So tilting to the other side, we're going to inhale in a half circle and then exhale. Oh, and before you get started, if you want to kind of test to see where your system is at before you do these hip circles, so we're going to test our range of motion. What I want you to notice is just how far can you move your arm back? How does your shoulder feel, especially here in the front of your chest? Like, is it really tight? Are you noticing any pinching? We just kind of want to see where we're at before we begin. Okay, let's do 10 on each side. That's a good round number. All right, so tilting, I'm going to inhale and exhale. Inhaling, exhaling. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so inhaling, coming to center. And just do a little check-in. How do your feet feel? How are your hips and your shoulders? I'll roll my shoulders back onto my back. All right, and so now we're gonna go in the opposite direction. Inhaling. Exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, inhaling to center. Roll my shoulders back a little bit. All right, so let me test my range of motion. I don't know if you can see it, but I can already feel like I'm going back inches more with so much ease. And that was only with 5 in each direction. When I do this in yoga class, sometimes our teachers will have us do 15 to 30. And this is one of those things where as long as it's feeling good, and as long as you do an even number in each direction, you can do as many as you want. I mean, up to 50 per side, you know, and just to really get that good open result. All right, ways to modify. If you wanted to experiment with shifting the angles of your feet just a little bit, so you can perhaps move into stretching some different parts of your body in slightly different angles, that's fine. Also, what we can do, especially as say you're moving on to 10 or 20 per each side, you might find your breath has relaxed and expanded, and it's easier to do one full inhale, one full inhale per circle and then exhale for the next circle. So for example, I'm going to inhale very slowly, and now I'm exhaling. Breathing into center, repeat it on the other side, inhale, and then exhale. That feels a little more smooth and is often more easily paired with a quicker circle. So this is, just modify to whatever feels good. Okay, so you've done your hip circles, your shoulders are feeling better, your low back has been opened up a little bit, tight muscles that are contributing to any back pain that you're having have been opened up. So now let's refine our tool a little bit. So this is going to be especially applicable for shoulder and neck pain. However, I think it's really important that you do open up your hips before you do this next move, because any tension in the hips or coming from the legs, this is going to have a more powerful pull than the muscle groups of the shoulders and neck. And so I don't want you to open up and loosen up your neck and shoulders and still have big gripping muscles down in your hips and thighs. All right. And you can always tailor this, do a briefer hip warm up and do more of the shoulder stuff, or vice versa. So before we move on to the shoulders, I think it's important to note that it's a good idea to do some hip warm ups before you do any shoulder stretches. And this is because tension in this area of your hips and thighs, this is going to be affecting your neck and shoulders because they're just smaller than your hips and thighs. And so even if we open up the shoulders, if we haven't addressed the tension in these bigger muscle groups, we could potentially find less relief or possibly even create more problems for our neck and shoulders. All right, so similar to when we were working on our hips, we're going to be lifting up our shoulders and rolling them onto our back. And this is key. Why this is going to work is because we will be strengthening these upper back muscles. And so we want the action that moves our arms to be coming from our upper back. All right, so this is one of the shapes we'll be holding. And let me just show you the difference between your shoulders being aligned and out of alignment. So let's talk about our shoulders. Most of the time, we're using the front of our chest to hold up our arms. What I want you to do, let's just exaggerate and bring your arms way back and push your chest forward. All right, we're gonna go forward again and then back. All right, try and find that middle ground. All right, and we found it earlier by lifting up our shoulders and rolling them onto our upper back. Now, the reason the arm movements that we're going to do will be effective is because we will be working into the upper back. So when you're moving your arms, I want you to imagine that it's the muscles in your upper back that are doing the work, while the front of your chest can just kind of relax and hang out. And so it is totally okay if you need to bring your arms down a whole bunch while you're doing this, because this part of our body doesn't really get worked that much. It doesn't have to be as strong because our chest is overcompensating. And so that's where we find the relief, by strengthening the weaker muscle group and offering a time to relax for the parts of our, the muscle groups that are working really hard. Okay, so here's one of the shapes we're gonna make. And here, this is out of alignment, right? I'm gonna feel into my feet, and with a strong core, I'm gonna lift up my shoulders and roll them back. And so we're also looking for a dynamic balance between our upper back and our hips. And so it can be really tempting, like when we bring our shoulders back into alignment, to arch our low back, like such. But no, bring your tailbone, tuck it under a little bit, feel your belly, and then allow that stability to move up into your shoulders. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and just walk through these movements really quick before we get started. So we've already kind of played with this one. So shoulders up and back, and you want your wrists as flexed as possible without any pain. And so kind of the idea is if you could have a little toy in each hand, it would stay stable. All right, so this is the first movement, and then we're gonna move down into the second. And so what what we're doing here is we are stretching out the compartments in our arms. So again, I'm gonna bring my shoulders back. So with the shoulders in alignment, by moving the arms in this way, we're stretching out all of the connections and all of the little muscles and connective tissue that, if are too tight, can exert pressure on our neck and shoulders. And so we're basically, by doing these movements, we're stretching out our arms and removing removing the pull and the grip that's going to be pulling our spine out of place. All right, so this is number 2. Number 3 is another sort of modified Egyptian kind of thing. So this is one where I really do want you to breathe into your wrist. Go slow, feel what there is to feel. Sometimes I need to back out of this one a little bit just so that I don't tweak my wrists. And so again, lifting my shoulders up, rolling them back, and then I'm bending my wrists. All right, 4th and final movement, we're lifting our arms up. So again, keeping the wrists as flat as possible. I think my hands feel above my head and slightly to the back. What's more important than where your hands are is if your shoulders are on your back and those upper back muscles are engaged. So this, my shoulders are kind of forward like this. This is too far back because I'm getting too much of a stretch across my chest. So there, something like this. All right, so now let's do these together. With a comfortably firm foundation, you just want to feel your legs engaged so that your hips are supported. Let's begin. All right, so we have position 1, position 2, position 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. Let's reverse. So we're at 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I actually need to drop my arms just a little bit. If you would like to add something onto this at some point, maybe not now, but in the future, try to focus on your breath as well while you do these movements. Let's try this again. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So as we move into 4, I want you to just feel into your upper back while you lift your arms over your head. And then back to 1. All right, so how does that feel? If you are having any burning in your upper back and shoulders, that is tension leaving your body. If you're having any sharp pain, then please back up and do a little bit less. All right, so just one more time. Here's position 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's reverse. 3, 2, and 1. So once you're feeling comfortable with these shapes, you can, for a different experience, link them together in a little bit more of a flow. So, as such, what we're trying to find is a bit of a moving target. You know, we want that sweet spot where we are working our muscles just enough, but not so much that we strain any joints. And so sometimes having a little bit more of a movement or a flow, this can be a little bit more accessible to people. I hope that you are feeling better and that you have a beautiful day after doing this protocol. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again very soon.
With hundreds of videos that you can stream on virtually any device to help you reduce stress, lose weight, or just improve your health and well-being overall. At WellnessPLUS.tv, we are dedicated to helping you on your health and wellness journey. Join WellnessPLUS.tv to find hundreds of videos to help you improve the health of your body and your mind. WellnessPLUS.tv. Get well, feel better.